Breaking down the AFC West division, who do you guys think takes the title this year?
I mean, it's got to be Chiefs.
Chiefs.
So it's the question is who's going to be second in the AFC West? Who's going to be contending for a playoff spot?
It's got to be the Chargers.
Justin Herbert, you think can do it?
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't see why not. I feel like the Raiders really haven't made any big improvements than the Broncos. They still working with Drew Lock. I mean, what else really is there in that division?
You don't believe in Derek Carr?
Or Aaron Rodgers possibly
No.
going to the Broncos?
Ooh.
Now that's a big one.
I think the Raiders will be at the bottom definitely. I don't have any hope in them this year at all.
Why not? Because you said that before. What
I
you
say
think
it
with the
every
Raiders?
year, and somehow they end up doing decent, kind of.
Raiders are the team that's always plays the Chiefs pretty well. I think they actually all kind of steal one from the Chiefs. I feel like maybe not the Broncos.
I feel like
I
the
don't think the
Raiders
Broncos
just...
stole one last year. I think both of them stole one last year from the Chiefs besides the Broncos.
Yeah,
Let me
they
see what the
split.
Raiders got at receiving core. I kind of forget.
Well, they got Henry Ruggs.
Oh yeah,
They
Ruggs
got
is really
Henry
good.
Ruggs, Brian Edwards, and John Brown, plus Willie Snead, Zay Jones, Hunter Renfrow.
Dylan
then,
Stoner. What a name.
Do they still have,
Dude,
what's his name that
they
came from the Eagles?
They have Hunter Winfrow. And
Nelson
they still
Aguilar.
got
Do they still have him?
Aguilar, no.
Dude.
I remember they did have Aguilar.
They have John Brown too, which
Uh,
in fantasy is always pretty. Is that
and they still got
is that John Brown the same
still
one
got
that
a top
plays for
three
the
tight
Bills?
end at Waller.
Or played for the Bills?
Yeah.
So that's weird.
Yeah.
We have no belief in Derek Carr on this show. Is
No
that what you
belief in
said?
Derek Carr from you.
Yeah. I don't know if I don't have belief in him, but he's a solid quarterback, but I feel like the Raiders are always good for at least some point in the year to just stink really bad.
I didn't
and
like
just
the
ruin all their
rumors where
chances.
people were saying like the Colts are getting Derek Carr at one point, and I was like, don't do that.
I think he's
I think Derek Carr's. I don't think he's bad, but I just
Nah.
don't think he's overly good or anything. I think he's just about.
a mid-tier
like-
quarterback.
I
upper
feel like
middle
if he
pack.
went somewhere else, he might have like the Tannehill effect, where like somehow he just kind of does good. But that's who I compare him to, Tannehill. Not really as a play style.
I would agree. I definitely think the Chargers. I think it's between Chargers and Raiders in second.
I agree with you.
I think the Broncos. This should be a big year for Drew Lock. I think this kind of figures out whether they ride with him any longer or not.
What's this year? Is this his second or third year in the league?
It's third, I'm pretty sure. And he missed. Could
Drew
be
Lock-
his fourth.
Let me see right here. I got it.
What is this year on the stats? What's his
Year on
last
the
year?
stats. Great. There's no stats.
Okay, well,
I kind of forget. I feel like
Yeah,
this is his third. This is Drew
It's
Lock's
his third
right?
year.
third.
Yeah, this is Drew Lock's third.
He
year.
just only played. He played 5 games his rookie year, but that's when he went 4-1.
Don't forget about Cortland Sutton. They got
And-
and Jerry Jeudy.
Ooh.
And who else do they have? They have someone I was looking at in fantasy the other day.
I want Denver to have like a really good quarterback and at least have a successful offense for Jerry Jeudy because I love him. And I'm obviously everyone's high on him, but he just needs a solid quarterback.
That talking point. There has been rumors that if Rodgers goes somewhere, Denver could be the place. So
Yeah.
let's say
Nasty.
Denver somehow lands Rodgers. How does that shape this division out?
Him and Mahomes are competing for the division title.
Yeah,
That'd be nuts.
if you look back on like the first episode, I believe it was. I think I made some like crazy. This is like I definitely don't believe this still, but I was saying like 100% Rodgers the Broncos Super Bowl, like them or the Rams. Like that's just gonna mess up everybody's predictions so far. Because if Aaron Rodgers goes there, one, that's gonna make the Packers awful. Two, I mean they probably won't be that bad with their quarterback, but they have Jordan Love, and then the Broncos would probably be insane. I feel like because they got the receiver.
That puts
core.
Aaron Rodgers in the AFC, which they would have Mahomes, Allen,
Herbert.
Aaron Rodgers, Herbert, the whole AFC, not the AFC West. The whole AFC.
I thought you were talking about. I thought the AFC West. I was like, yeah, I
Like
don't
that
think.
would be nuts. Just a balance effect. I think he needs to stay in Green Bay.
What quarterbacks in the NFC? Like Brady. That's
Brady, Wilson,
It? Oh yeah.
Prescott.
Oh yeah. Never mind.
But Mahomes, Rodgers, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson,
Sean
Watson. Like what?
Carson Wentz, if he's actually
Yeah.
stepping up this year.
Hey Bailey, I still
Wow.
have a clip of you last podcast saying that Deshaun Watson is the best in the league.
I said that.
You said
I
that.
thought he said he was up there.
No.
He's
Like,
dominant.
you definitely said he is the best in the league.
I mean, that's not entirely a bad take.
No, it's not. I think
if he has,
like when he's
He's
at,
elite.
he's elite.
when he's at his best, I think he's potentially top 3 to 4. I mean,
Oh yeah.
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 Because he was
Off the
smacking
top.
last year, and he had nobody to throw to.
Oh, I know.
He had no business being as good as he was last year.
This is kind of another thing too. Speaking of him, Will Fuller was one of his best receivers he had, and it's kind of off topic. But I was watching a thing by him playing with the Dolphins, and apparently he might not even be doing good with the Dolphins. So that's what people are guessing so far.
I mean, if Tua's starting, he's not going to be it. The Dolphins are not going to be it. But that's off topic.
Definitely
I can agree
off
with
topic.
that, though. I can agree with that.
I don't know. Will Fuller's problem is he's good when he plays, but he gets hurt. He gets hurt every year.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have mind. I want to just see them or the Colts kind of. I wouldn't have minded if he would have signed with Indy. I think he's solid. So we're all probably predicting Kansas City leading the AFC West again.
So
Kansas City, yeah. And then I think it's between – honestly, big thing for me is the run game between the Chargers and the Raiders, because Josh Jacobs was hurt for a lot of last year, and that's what really hurt the Raiders towards the end of the season, because they really needed him towards the end. And Austin Eckler is really good for the Chargers. So, I mean,
the Raiders were in that playoff
That's what I was going to say. If Josh Jacobs stayed healthy, I really think they would have took it. But
I think the Chargers and Chiefs will both win double-digit games next year. I think it could, if the Chiefs do choke up a couple games, I think it really could come down to the Chargers and Chiefs, like, battling out. But, probably like a 90% chance Chiefs are winning that division easily.
Don't forget Chargers' new head coach.
Yep. Because I did not realize. You go ahead,
Corbin.
Just saying, like we were saying last week, though, when we were talking about will Herbert be able to repeat his performance. I don't know. Like I said, like sophomore slumps are a thing. I'm not saying it's going to happen to him, but I don't know. Like I just don't know if he's going to exactly repeat what he did last year.
Herbert was not winning games at the beginning of this. Like I'm saying, like he was obviously a rookie, but if you look at his win-loss, it was not that good until later on in the season. I know he didn't start right off the bat, but
I was about to say he wasn't even starting.
But he won. I don't remember how many games it was, but compared to some other quarterbacks, like it really wasn't insane. But I still think Herbert's insane. So
yeah, I mean his skill and his raw ability showed in his stats, but we'll see. Next topic, Dalen. This is going to be hype for you. What will we see from Josh Allen and the Bills next year? Coming off an appearance in the AFC Championship game last year, what do they have to build, or what can we see out of them next year? What do you think? Listen, Dalen is to the Bills as we are to the Colts, all right? It's pure bias, so that's why we had to get him on the show.
I'm trying to figure out where do I even start at. Do I start at, like, weapons that we could potentially lose and ones that we've gained, ones that I see that could come up? Why did we lose to Kansas City last year in the championship game? I think that's where I need to start first, honestly.
Why did you lose to Kansas City?
Almost the Colts, but
pass rushing was absolutely brutal. Absolutely brutal. We cannot get to Patrick Mahomes if our lives depended on it, to be honest.
Did you guys make any improvements in that?
So, I mean, we didn't really get like a big free agent name, so to speak.
Yeah.
But we did get a lot of our first 2 draft picks were defensive ends and Greg Rousseau and then Boogie Basham, love his name. Greg Rousseau, I think he could be really good, and then it's going to be a toss-up if he's going to take AJ Epinesta's spot or can't even think of homie's name.
Giving up on him that quick?
Honestly, I have, because he barely played. Dude that rides the horses.
Yeah.
And then he got in trouble with a DUI.
So do you see any improvements on how they can build on their offense?
Honestly, bro, I think our offense is solid. I mean, I've seen Devin Singletary in the gym going crazy. So if he can get right, I mean, there ain't no reason why we cannot get to the Super Bowl, or at least be in the same position as last
Compete
year.
again, yeah.
That's what I'm
Because
saying.
obviously everyone's projecting them to be a top team or top seed in the AFC.
And then I really think it's going to be a determining factor. Stefan's obviously the number one.
Yeah,
Easy.
you gotta stay healthy.
Stefan, I think, will stay healthy. Now, Cole Beasley, his whole situation, and if he can stay healthy, that's another story. Emmanuel Sanders, if he can stay healthy. Now, somebody that y'all might hate, Gabe Davis. Do you remember him in the AFC Championship with those 2 toe tap catches toward the end of the half?
Yeah.
He's going to be a stud this year, I think. And then
that's who we kept having the discussion between him and Michael Pittman all last year.
Exactly, me and Zach.
Yeah.
But then also Isaiah Hodges, he didn't play a lot last year because of injury. So we got weapons for days. I'm not really worried about Josh.
Now, what you guys need to do is every single play, drop back and then Josh down up the middle. Like, come on.
Hey, man, look. We didn't have a choice but to throw the dude into the ground last year. We didn't have a run game, so we had to throw him into the ground. But I think people are talking about how he's going to be downhill this season, how it was a fluke season, and da-da-da-da-da. Honestly, people saw this coming from the jump. They said his accuracy wasn't going to be great off the rip. You know what I'm saying?
He definitely did improve that.
Absolutely.
So yeah, he improved it drastically. He was like one of the worst ever his first 2 or 3 years. That's why
he was 31st.
That's why whenever you're I saw this coming, I was like people were so surprised. When people were acting this was coming, it's dude, how do you predict him to go from 28th and 30th or whatever?
Trust me,
you can't predict that.
Yes, I predicted him to be better. Nothing like that though. That was.
You think outrageous. He can keep that, or you think it's gonna?
Yeah,
do you predict it's dropping? Okay.
There's nothing but up from here. I don't think we've never seen a jump like that, and I don't think we'll see a downfall like that either. That would be such a big downfall, and I just don't think it's gonna happen.
Yeah, they need it.
I'm gonna make a take right here. I think.
I
think the Bills next season. I seriously think that it's gonna come down to the Bills and Colts again in the playoffs. That's exactly what's gonna happen.
I wouldn't be shocked.
Last year,
we're gonna run all over him.
I hope.
Jeez.
Well, let's make it in Indy though. Let's make it in Indy.
If we're gonna be honest, shouldn't have even come down to one play last year. But I digress.
But it did.
It did.
So, what are your thoughts on Matt Breida?
I still think he'll be the third string. I don't think he'll get a lot of PT because I think we still have faith in Devin Singletary and Zach Moss. If he's
as I was going to ask, I don't know who's under Singletary.
Zach Moss out.
Didn't
he tear or something?
Yeah, he tore it. I think 2 games before the playoffs he tore it, and then he should be ready for the start of the season. Playoffs. Maybe because we played you guys first. I don't think it was against you guys.
It might. I can't remember.
Or Baltimore.
I feel like it was in the playoffs, but I can't remember if it was. I feel like it was in the playoffs, but I can't remember.
But I don't think I like Matt Breida. I think he's solid, but I still don't think he's going to get as much playing time as people think. If one of them goes down, obviously he'll have to step up. But
yeah.
God, so I'm obviously ETN from Clemson so bad, bro.
I remember you talking about that.
Biggest thing with the Bills is I feel like people are kind of downplaying the fact that if Cole Beasley is out, how big of a hit that offense is. Because I don't think even if Gabe Davis takes a little bit of jump next year, Cole Beasley isn't a top 10 receiver by any means, but as a slot receiver, that dude is one of the top little slot receivers. He's
easy,
super good at what he does.
Yeah, he gets.
And I don't think people realize. I think people are kind of downplaying that if he sits out, I don't think Gabe Davis or Emmanuel Sanders right now are capable of filling that role. I think that'll be a huge hit for Josh, especially if you guys don't get that running game going.
Yeah. I think our running game will get going. And like I said, we still have a draft pick in Isaiah Hodges from last year that didn't even get any playing time because he was hurt. And I think he's a stud. We can get him in, get him warm, get him going. I think
some reps in him.
Honestly.
I like Isaiah McKenzie, though.
I like Cole a lot. Isaiah McKenzie's a stud too, and he's gonna have to be playing kick return.
I feel like he
Andre Roberts. I don't know if you guys watched that last game of the season against the Dolphins when he had 3 touchdowns in the first half.
For real.
Jesus.
Dude was a stud.
Dude, you better watch out for
And so
Mitch Trubisky this year too.
Money making Mitch, man. Best backup in the league.
We're preaching to Dalen on today's show.
Yeah.
Man,
Dalen's
look,
excited today. We're all just.
I am. I don't think you guys understand. I was having a good time during
All right,
basketball
so
season.
Dalen-
Baseball season's going good.
Yeah, I feel that.
Football's next.
Do you think? We'll just ask Dalen this, okay? Who has the
Talk to
better
me.
year, Allen or Mayfield?
You can't ask that to Dalen. You know what he's gonna say.
I'm gonna be
We'll
biased.
have to
That's like me.
discuss it.
That's like me saying who's gonna have a better year, Carson Wentz or Trevor Lawrence. I know you guys want to say Carson
Wentz,
Wentz.
Yeah.
Exactly. Do I think
I
Baker
think that one's a
Mayfield
little
will
bit
have
more
the
cut and
same?
dry.
I don't know. Is it?
It might. Listen, we don't have to have a discussion, but it might. There might be a discussion there. Maybe.
I don't even think Baker will have the same season as last year. To be honest, because
All right, let's put
honestly,
this in another.
Nick
challenge.
Chubb is their number one weapon. Baker Mayfield's not even the one making most
Wait,
plays
but
on that team. It's
the
Nick
Browns
Chubb.
are in kind of the same situation as the Bills. Are coming off a great season.
They are.
All they're showing is a trajectory. Now that the question is, can they repeat it? But the Browns and the Bills are really similar, in my opinion, in the AFC.
I think we're two completely different teams. They're more of a run first type
What do you
team. They're
think?
going to run Nick Chubb into the ground.
I think as far as
Well, I mean, like-
I think as far as AFC standings, I think they're both probably top 5 teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say so.
What
Who is
about?
it? If we had to say
Fiction-wise,
top
is-
5 AFC teams, so in no particular order, it'd be us, Chiefs, Ravens. Would we put the Ravens in there?
Mine would probably be.
I mean, that's a safe regular
Chiefs,
season
Colts.
thing. Cold,
It'd be
yeah, buddy.
Chiefs, Bills. I would personally still throw the Titans up there. Browns,
7-10.
and then I don't know. The Colts could be up there. I think that would probably be
There's
my
just
5.
that tie between Colts, Ravens.
Yeah, Ravens up there
Colts play
too.
Ravens this
Probably,
year,
you know, I think if you go with any of those 6 in the top 5. you're
Steelers,
probably-
maybe. We'll
Okay,
see.
so
I don't know.
Dalen, what about this? Okay, Allen or Mahomes?
That's tough.
Real quiet.
I think
The good thing, though, if you had to think about it.
Yeah.
I think it is. It's a tough question. I do think he has a very,
He has-
very good shot at taking the spot from Mahomes if he continues to progress. Bro, I'm telling you, if Josh Allen had a tight end like the Chiefs have, he would be set for life because Dawson Knox is not it. Now I'll be the first one to say it. I've been
Tight
saying
end is
he
a very
didn't
good
they just
luxury
get a
for a
new tight end?
quarterback.
Nah, they got.
No, I'm praying that we get. I'm praying that we get Zach Ertz before the start of the season.
That'd be a huge pickup, though, Zach Ertz.
Huge.
Bills.
Look, if we had Travis Kelce, that would.
If anyone
I don't know
had
if-
Travis Kelce,
I'll be honest, though,
actually
Travis
Exactly.
Kelce has helped out Mahomes a lot, but I mean, I'm not gonna act like that's his
that
reason.
tight
for
end
success.
position is fantastic.
I'll say this: Patrick Mahomes was set his whole entire career with weapons on a silver platter, bro. Josh did not have that whatsoever. We had
I mean,
Kelvin
you can
Benjamin
say
that
that,
was
but-
one biscuit away from a tight end. So
I mean, if Mahomes had Diggs,
Yeah,
then
you
you'd be
could-
saying the same thing.
but that's just
Well, he's got Tyreek though.
Nicole
Tyreek,
Hardman is a stud too. Got the best tight end in football.
And I don't like how you sling the word stud around.
For who?
Sling.
Nicole?
Like anybody.
I mean, you just don't like the
eye
word.
test.
Oh, not like I don't like the word, but like I don't know. I don't know.
Just freely put it on
Just
everyone.
say everybody's a fucking stud. Yeah, like literally everybody on the Bills roster was just called a stud.
No.
They're like wide receiver.
Listen,
core.
I'm gonna sit here and probably say the same shit about Colts players, though. This is how
I'm
it's how you
saying,
gotta
if
be
you-
when
if
you're a
you-
fan.
If you see that your players have potential to be great, of course they're going to be a stud.
Yeah.
If you know
There's a
it,
stud
you
and
might
there's a
not-
consistent stud. Sometimes they're not consistent, but they're still a stud. They have the flashes of greatness.
Like Nicole Hardman, I was just talking about him. He had his flashes of greatness last year, which is why Patrick Mahomes is really good with them.
he was the first
I mean,
bet I
Watkins
ever
is
made
stud,
on
Dalen.
FanDuel was him to score a touchdown in the game, and he got it. So
Shout out.
yeah.
All right,
you
so
think?
Dalen, are we
Come
all?
down to
Who are
it.
we picking? Has a better season next year? Josh Allen with the Bills or Baker Mayfield with the Browns?
I have to go Josh Allen.
We know
Now
your
the question
answer.
is for
Jackson
you
and
guys,
Cohen. Yeah.
what would it be?
I think it's gonna come down to, like, this is gonna sound so cliche, but it's just gonna come down to injuries. I feel like, because I feel like if something happened to Diggs, then it's gonna be Mayfield. I think maybe, but then
God forbid if that
say
happens.
Odell's not out there, and then because he gets hurt a lot, and then they're probably gonna be doing a heavy run or run heavy offense. So probably then it's gonna. I don't know. I would take Allen over him just to be safe, but I wouldn't be surprised if Baker Mayfield did better.
Corbin?
I definitely think it's Josh Allen, but I think it's a little bit more. It could be a little closer than it was last year. I just think I don't know. I don't think Josh Allen's going to drop off by any means. I just don't know if he's going to have second MVP voting. He'll still have a good year. He'll still be Pro Bowl, whatever. I just don't know. I think that depending on what happens to Cole Beasley, that's a big problem. And I don't know. Just after, like, if the Bills don't get a running game, I don't think people realize like how much that's going to hurt. Yes, he was able to do it in the playoffs repeatedly without having a run game, but I think that's only like 2-3 games.
Yeah.
Whereas we get in a season, defenses when they really start getting weeks to prepare and whatnot, and just key in on freaking Josh Allen throwing the ball. I think that's could really come back to hurt Josh Allen.
I don't know if you guys watched Josh Allen's interview on the Pat McAfee show during the last season, but they asked him about Brian Dable, the offensive coordinator, his like play calling style, and if he was okay with throwing the ball so much during the game. And he said he was okay with it because he's the type of player that can also make plays with his legs. So I think we don't necessarily. I would like for us to have a big running game with our running backs, but Josh can also do that himself. I think people
give him 20 carries.
He's not like
but he's not over the whole.
Not
You don't
Kyler,
want that.
Not,
you don't want
people.
that though.
Not Lamar.
I don't want it, but if I need it, I'll take it.
Josh Allen's he's not Kyler and Lamar where they're not taking hits. He's gonna take hits.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can.
And also, I'm not saying have a crazy good run game. Just something that's respectful. Because when it got in the playoffs, I mean, your guys' run game wasn't even being respected.
Yeah.
Not at all, to be honest.
It was like, why even go in for why would you even think it's to be a run when they got Josh Allen? I mean, they didn't expect him to run it every single time after it happened 20 times, but.
I mean, yeah, I don't mind if Josh Allen's gonna run it 3 or 4 times in the game, but I don't think I would be comfortable calling designed run plays.
So,
no. Even if they're not designed, but if he has to use them, I'd say use them. I'm not afraid for him to use them.
We'll see what happens.
Speaking on Josh Allen running the ball, what does it mean for Darius Leonard from Fred Warner's contract?
He's going to get paid. Everyone knew he was going to get paid.
Yeah.
But if you guys didn't know, Fred Warner signed a 5-year, almost $100 million extension, $40.5 million guaranteed. Shout out to him. He got his money. But Leonard, I was looking at a thing today, and they said the deal with Leonard and the coach should go down before training camp, really within the next couple of days. And he's expected to make even more money. He's expected to be the highest paid linebacker in the league. So rightfully so, though. I think he's definitely a top superstar linebacker in the NFL. Has been since his rookie season, without question.
Deserves it. So
I was about to say, I just saw Fred Warner just got paid mad money.
Oh yeah, and Leonard's still on his rookie contract too, which is crazy.
They're saying Leonard should be between about $19 million a year. Is what I was hearing. It was I think for 4 years. That's what they were saying.
I would sign him at 5.
It's just I think kind of the counter side of that is going to be interesting just because, for the Colts, they're going to have to pay him, and next will be Quentin
Ryan
Nelson.
Kelly.
And you also got Ryan Kelly got paid.
Braden Smith, yeah.
Braden Smith is going to get paid.
That was that was 3 if you count Kelly. That's 3 of your offensive linemen that are getting paid.
Yeah. But I think Ballard's got a plan. I think that's why. I think he, not going for people like Julio Jones or whatever was really looking to the future because they want to keep their young talent and still build through the draft. That way, Honestly, that way when you draft people, if you just keep building through the draft, that way when you draft somebody, that pans out or whatever, you're able to afford them
Yeah,
because
because
you're not
you're
signing
paying
big ass
cheap
free agents already with big contracts.
for like.
Yeah, rookie contracts go for what, 3 to 4 years, maybe 5.
Yeah,
Probably usually 3 or 4.
Sometimes I think they go 2 or 1. I'm not sure, but they're not getting paid too much. I don't know how much
So
Trevor Lawrence is getting paid, but he's probably getting paid some money.
We talked about it a couple episodes ago. I forget the actual number. So do you think the Colts were possibly waiting for San Francisco? I don't know if they like obviously knew that Warner was going to get re-signed or like it was going to go down how it went, but we're just waiting to see what San Francisco paid Warner to set the market, and now they're going to see how much they deserve to get Leonard. I think it's pretty smart if that happens like
for
that.
Leonard to wait if there was any type of like more of him.
Yep.
It's smarter for him because then, I think he's better than Fred Warner. So
I'm excited to see how much Quentin Nelson gets paid.
That's
Because
gonna be insane.
my gosh,
Quentin Nelson's about to get a bag. Oh my
yeah, he
lord!
is.
Like
guard.
he might be getting paid more than you might be paying him more than Wentz. I'm just kidding, but like
I mean, I would damn near say so.
I mean he.
Bro, oh my
I'd rather
God.
have
an
him
offensive
than-
lineman making that much money is crazy.
Hey man,
It's not going to
so
be that
wild.
much. If it's that much, that move alone, I'll tell him to fire Chris Ballard. Dude.
Ain't
He's
no
making more
way
than Carson Wentz.
ain't no way an offensive lineman's making quarterback money. There ain't no way.
Guard at that. A tackle would be maybe a little bit more understandable.
so Carson
Even
Wentz
Matt's
signed a
out of
4-year, $128 million in
there's no
2019, so he's making 128.
What's
Can you
that a year?
imagine Nelson making 130 mil? Oh my god!
What is do you guys know what the highest paid lineman is? Or what?
I looked up the
who it
highest
is,
paid
but
guard, and it's, if this is correct, it's Zach Martin, 84 mil over 6 years with the
Dallas?
Cowboys.
So
Yeah,
he's making
Yeah,
about
that makes sense.
12 mil
So
a
he's-
year, 11 mil a year, something like that.
yeah, 84 mil total. So, I mean,
6
Quentin
years.
Nelson might be looking upwards of 90, maybe in between 84 and 90,
I could see the same thing,
But like,
but a year less. Maybe I don't know.
like a 5-year.
5 year at the same amount that guy's making.
Okay.
mm,
Listen, Colts are about to spend some cash, and Corbin hit it around the head. That's why Chris Ballard isn't making these big moves that all the fans want to see, is because he knows what he's doing. That 2018 draft class is going to be with the Colts for a long time. So you've had to keep your books right and be able to pay them when their contract's up.
Yeah.
And we've known it's coming for forever.
I
So
think-
because Jackson said it, is Leonard the best linebacker in the NFL?
Yeah.
He's definitely S
Absolutely.
tier, but is he? I wouldn't. It's just hard to rank. But who do you guys think the number one linebacker in the NFL is right now?
If it's
If you had to pick
on
one.
if it's based on who would you want, because like you could easily say someone's like their skill set might be different than their skill set because it's so different. Like if you're saying who you want on your offense, so that type of scheme, definitely number one.
Leonard.
Yeah, and like especially just him, all like kind of his like
It's
mentality,
everything.
his mentality.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like his
Yeah.
mentality,
We
is
still-
everything.
We taking Leonard over like Bobby Wagner? Oh,
Yeah, I'm picking him up.
I don't know if I would say that for sure, but it's definitely a discussion.
or Levante David because he was so nice in Tampa last year.
Yeah, I have him. I have
Who's
him. Wagner, Warner, Kendricks from the Vikings,
like him.
White.
So
So
White, that's
about the top.
that's
Devin
the
White?
Buccaneers, right?
Yeah,
He's
The
nice.
Buccaneers have two of the top 5 potential
really do.
linebackers. in the
They
NFL. That's
really do.
crazy. And then they paid both of them. That's
Yep.
so wild.
smart, bro. They're young too. Devin White's 23.
Lord.
I definitely think. I personally, I think he's top 5 for sure.
Yeah, agreed.
Just how high do you want to put him? I think it gets to the point where when you start debating the top 5, it's like I don't know, it's just kind of a pissing contest.
Yep.
And they're all roughly the same.
And like Jackson said, the linebacker position, they're gonna have different skill sets that they thrive in. So I mean,
That's why I gave Darius a little boost because I feel like he's pretty well rounded in everything.
and he's just so fun to watch. Like the mic up with him when he's mic'd up is just, it gets you hyped. Like he's just that guy. He's that guy. Yeah.
Just making sure.
So shout out Darius Leonard. You're gonna get paid. Next topic. Another quarterback battle. We talk about a new quarterback battle every episode, and we probably have more to talk about in future episodes.
I like this one.
But I do too, and this one was kind of one I forgot about because I forgot that they got Teddy Bridgewater. But who are the Broncos gonna be starting quarterback week 1 between Teddy Bridgewater and Drew Lock?
Or
Or
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers. I think I can genuinely say I think it's going to be Aaron Rodgers. I think he's going out of Green Bay, bro.
I don't think he's gonna be playing on another team this year. He's either gonna play with the Packers or he's not gonna play. I don't think he'll be on
I
another
saw a
team.
thing where
The
he's
Packers
like-
aren't gonna trade him.
He's gonna be the person on. I could be so wrong about this. It's just like off the top of my head. Is he
Do
gonna
they
be on
really want to
Jeopardy?
not? He was.
They would have by now. I feel like they should have traded him before
That's
the
what I'm
draft.
saying. Are they really going to let him just sit an entire season and play Jordan Love?
They're going to anyway.
Hey,
If they
I
get rid of him.
kind of think Jordan Love could kind of ball out there with Devontae.
Listen, we're not having an Aaron Rodgers talk.
Oh, yeah,
Corbin,
yeah.
Broncos week 1. Who do you like more, Teddy Bridgewater or Drew Lock?
I'm gonna say Drew Lock. I think Teddy Bridgewater probably right now is better, but I think Denver at this point, if you're not, like I said, I know you said no more Aaron Rodgers talk, but if you're not gonna get Aaron Rodgers, right now I still think Drew Lock could potentially be your future. I'm not that high on Drew Lock, but I think he's got more of a chance to be your future right now than Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Bridgewater's a little bit older.
And that's why you drafted
Be a lot
Drew
bit
Lock.
older.
I mean, we talked about it earlier. It's his 3rd or 4th year in the league. Just keep building on it.
I was about to say,
I
who
don't
knows? Drew Lock could potentially have, and might sound crazy, a Josh Allen type season to where he just balls out in his 3rd season.
Just out of nowhere.
I think that's why you got to play him just for. I think that's why you got to play him just for that chance alone. Because, like I said, I mean, even if you play Bridgewater might win you a few more games, even if Drew Lock has an okay season or whatever. But in the end, it's not. I don't think it's going to matter. It's not going to be like those few games are going to put them in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I think both
Like that. So I
QBs
think
will- keep going. I thought you were done.
I was just going to say I think you just played Drew Lock just purely based on the fact that he still could potentially be something. But at the same time, like, this could be his last year. Like, this could be the year you're like, all right, Drew, you got the keys, but you don't do something.
Yeah,
We're going to the draft.
Go to the Jets or something.
Or others.
Trade for Zach Wilson after 1 year.
Oh god.
So the
Hey.
reason I ended up talking about this whole topic is like a lot of talks around the Broncos is there's going to be that battle. They don't know who's they're going to be their guy, and it's going to begin with the start of training camp and could go all the way through the preseason. So they're going to use this whole entire time before the week 1 to choose who their starter is going to be. So there's a competition in Denver.
I wonder if they ever do this. Like, this is so not professional at all, but like, if I was like the coach making this decision, I'd just walk into my receivers and be like, yo, like, who you want the
Who do
QB
you
to be?
want?
Like, is it Lock
I
or
mean,
Bridgewater?
that's actually not
on
bad.
everything I would do that.
It's like, is Lock throwing more
I like
dots to
that.
you, or you want Bridgewater out there because he's, I don't know.
I like
Getting the
Teddy
same
Bridgewater.
amount of reps at training camp and then sit the receivers down in the room and be like, hey, look, you saw them both. Who do you want?
I'm sure that is a thing though. I'm sure they have those discussions.
I think
they probably don't decide, but they definitely have the discussions.
Yeah, definitely. But I think Bridgewater. I like Bridgewater. I just don't see why they would have traded for him if they wouldn't play him. Like, they might have needed a backup, but if you need a
That's
backup,
why all
why
these
would you
quarterback
get-
battles just blow my mind.
If you need a backup, why would you get Bridgewater? You could get somebody else because a lot cheaper, probably. I don't know how much they exactly.
A
pay,
backup
but
quarterback.
Yeah, you could get a backup quarterback and not a possible QB1.
Yeah.
They could have got Mitch Trubisky. No, I'm playing.
I mean,
Hey.
I.
Go get Aaron Rodgers. So like, who knows what's going on in Denver, man?
Dude, just trade for Trevor Lawrence.
Like I said though, if you played Teddy Bridgewater, like, I mean, does that put them in playoff contention?
Good.
No.
Has Teddy
Good.
Bridgewater ever been in
So I
playoffs?
don't.
Oh,
I
maybe
don't-
with the Vikings. I don't know.
I don't think so.
I think whoever you start, I don't think there's going to be in playoff contention.
Wait, I
Yeah, we
think
talked earlier in
I
the
think
episode how
Gittin got
difficult
hurt.
that division is.
With the Vikings,
Like we said though,
See.
if you play Drew Lock, you maybe have the potential. Maybe he does have like a Josh Allen type jump, or just a. I think at this point, Broncos would just take any kind of jump. But something similar to his rookie year, those 5 games he played, because last year he was not good.
yeah, he went
Was not good.
in 2015 with the Minnesota Vikings. He went 11-5.
Yep, and played the Seahawks in the wild card.
He threw 14 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. I don't know how that happens in 16 games, but
Fun fact: that playoff game was one of the coldest games ever played. So there
only
you
here
go.
on the tiebreaker will you hear that.
Thank you,
Vikings fell.
weatherman.
All right,
all
last
right.
topic here.
Out of the meteorology report.
Meteorologist Bailey Chamberlain. Last topic, emerging quite recently, and then what we're going to talk about emerged today as we're recording. The COVID vaccine troubles have hit the league,
God.
and according to Dalen and according to Twitter, players are contemplating playing with the discussion of retirement over this whole situation. Now that's crazy to me, especially the guy who was tweeting today, DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, if it involves your health, that's kind of a different thing. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
would you rather be on a team and not have to worry about something, or, you know, personally of your own thoughts of what you're going to happen to you if you get the vaccine? Then it's kind of a hard decision.
No, it's a wishy-washy situation, to say the least.
So what was the rule that the league came out with and said teams will have to forfeit if the game can't be rescheduled due to?
So basically, you remember last year on how if like there was a COVID outbreak during the season and like teams had to reschedule games and stuff.
Yeah.
If there's not a date that the league can come to, like in foregone conclusion, then they would make the team forfeit the game and just give them an automatic loss.
And that is that any
outbreak.
COVID related issue, or is that a COVID related issue where
Outbreak.
someone's not vaccinated?
Only if you're not
'Cause
vaccinated.
I think the
I'm
vaccine has
assuming
something to do with
it's
that
not
too.
vaccinated.
So they're forcing players to get vaccinated. If you don't, and it costs your
Yes.
team, it's going to be a loss.
Because I saw people.
I feel like we should look this up though, just to make
No,
sure.
I
that-
definitely
I think
saw
it
'cause
is. It is. I
people
looked
were
at it before the
commenting and
episode.
saying people were
Yeah.
commenting and saying so because technically the rule wouldn't apply if you got the vaccine and still got COVID, because you can still test positive for COVID after the vaccine.
Yeah.
So they were like, so if you're gonna make that rule, then what's gonna happen whenever you have COVID, the COVID shot, and then you get COVID? Like that's like technically your symptoms wouldn't be as bad, but like still.
Dalen, the headline is NFL informs clubs that COVID-19 outbreaks among unvaccinated players could lead to forfeited games. So
That's
the NFL just wants their players to get vaccinated to minimize all of this risk and just unnecessary stuff during the season. But on the other side, you have players that are choosing not to get vaccinated. So there's just that rocky situation
they
right
should
now. And
they should bump up the. I feel like they should bump up the roster maybe, and then just like you're just basically just make it. We have like a COVID roster, so you have to.
like a COVID backup roster.
Yeah, like a
type
COVID backup
thing.
roster, so that like basically when someone gets COVID, I mean, what sucks though is if one person gets COVID, it's probably gonna be a lot more than one person. But
That is a thing, but it really wasn't like that last year.
Yeah.
They were pretty isolated incidents.
I
and I
wasn't
know-
correct on that information.
I was reading something last year, because like last year with the pandemic, people were talking about how important like emergency quarterbacks were. You saw it happen like in Denver.
Yeah.
I think of that
That's what
dude's
they-
Shout
name.
out Denver's
Bridgewater.
quarterback situation.
But
that's why Bridgewater's there.
they're just talking about how like some of the emergency quarterbacks were like on the practice squad, and they would literally keep them away from the rest of the practice just in case that like if like the starter and the backup got COVID, or the third string or whatever, then they had their emergency, and he would like literally practice by himself, and there was like hella teams doing that.
There was no chance he would have COVID, so that's why they'd be able to
Yeah.
bring him in.
Dude, that makes me think
Exactly.
Jacob Eason. I don't think I ever saw on the sidelines.
Nah, he was. He was just always
Oh, he
in,
was?
or like he would sit behind the end zone, because on the play where Michael Pittman scored, that's who he sees dapping him up at the end. He's like sat in the stands,
Oh,
kind
he's
of.
understand. Yeah, because I
Yeah.
bet he was probably at that. That was his role, was sit there
Yeah.
in case everybody gets COVID, and you just. I won't be mad. I think like this is so different off topic, but I think they should give Easton a shot eventually one day. Somewhere.
Who knows? So the player that's headlining all this that Dalen brought to my attention was DeAndre Hopkins. Do you have his tweet ready to read right now? or
I
no?
do.
I couldn't find it.
Yeah.
What was it?
That I do. He may have deleted it.
I think he
Not
did.
100% sure. But the
Dang.
tweet says, "I never thought I would say this, but being put in a position to hurt my. Never thought I would say this, but being in a position to hurt my team because I don't want to partake in the vaccine is making me question my future." And then he added the NFL.
Just be extra cautious if you don't have the vaccine, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think. So I like the way he went about it. He's just saying, "Hey, I never thought I'd be put in this position to do it." There's a difference, and I will bring this to my attention, considering the fact that I'm a Bills fan. But the way he's approaching it and the way that Cole Beasley is approaching it are two completely different. I hate the way that Cole Beasley is.
How exactly is Cole Beasley going about it?
He is bugging on social media. He is going absolutely berserk. Do you not follow him on Twitter at all?
I don't follow him on Twitter.
I saw his initial stuff when it came out.
So basically, he went on a giant rant 2 days ago. I can read you some of the tweets. I won't go through all of them because he tweeted like a crap ton.
I do remember.
And he called out the Bills. I don't know if you guys know this, but the Bills are a very in-house type team. They don't really release a lot of their stuff to the public, right?
Yeah.
So what he said was, just trying to find it. Give me a second.
His thing was.
He said, "I'm not spreading anything." He said, "I get tested every day. Do you? I've already had a teammate who was vaccinated be sent home for COVID yesterday. Luckily, he caught it on Monday, because if it was Tuesday, he would have given it to everyone for a whole week before being tested again." I don't think the Bills really wanted to release that, but him bringing that out, it's like, why? Why are you bringing up all this stuff that doesn't really even need to be out? And then he has a good 15 to 16 other tweets talking about the vaccine, and he's getting on fans about it, like fans that tweet back at him.
He's probably loving what he's doing. That's why he keeps doing it. He loves it. And
the crazy thing was, in January of this year, right before the playoffs started, or whatever time period that was, he was saying he was having somebody else run a social media account, and how it was improving his game because he was just able to focus on that. So I'm like,
he got the password back.
He's never been.
So give me the phone back.
I forgot my password.
He's never been like this either.
That's what I'm saying. Cole's usually a quiet dude, so him doing all this, I'm like, what is going on?
Who did he give his account to? Publicity stunt or something. I don't know.
So I wonder if this is actually going to be a thing that affects teams this year. Player gets COVID, he's not vaccinated, they can't reschedule.
It's gonna be more of the NBA type thing. I feel like they went against protocol or something like that. That's how it's gonna. I don't think I mean I could be completely wrong, but I feel like it won't. Not as many people will get COVID as last year. I think it's gonna be more of someone hug somebody or touch the wrong fan or.
Protocol will still be, I think, within the team and league rules, pretty similar to last year. Obviously, there's going to be fans, full capacity the whole season, and then you have the other part where a lot of players are vaccinated. But I think a lot of the COVID stuff this year are going to be unvaccinated, just small little incidents that'll get taken care of. Hopefully. I don't think it'll be as bad as last year. Hopefully,
until you get to the Super Bowl and then Carson Wentz says it's COVID and can't play. Yeah, guys, that happens.
My thing about.
I'm going back to.
I don't know, Corey's been trying to talk for 5 minutes.
Yeah, go ahead.
My thing about it is just I feel like you should have the choice. At the same time, NFL is kind of their employer, so if they want to potentially put punishments in for not something happening because you didn't do something, I feel like I'm fine with that. I just feel like I don't know. I feel like the backlash from the players is kind of weird, just because it's kind of how it was last year. They just didn't have the forced loss, the automatic forfeit in there.
Yep.
And so, my opinion is, you're going to take a risk either way, but they did it without the vaccine last year.
Yeah.
Pretty solid. This last season was smooth.
Yeah. The NFL definitely. They had their cases or whatnot, but everything was pretty smooth. They just moved games a little bit back or forward or whatever.
Yep.
That's my thing is you've done it before, so it's still a risk every time you do it, because no matter where you go, there's going to be a chance of getting it, whatever, if you're around people. So once again, though, honestly, I feel like that's kind of on the player too. If you don't want to get it, just know that you're going to have to isolate yourself for a whole other season.
I don't think it's worth retiring over.
I don't.
I think that's just stupid to me.
I guess if you're set, you're set. You ain't really got to play no more. I guarantee you, D-Hop is set for life, bro. He probably doesn't have a plan.
Well, he is, but at the same time,
He just
he's
get that
still
freaking
prime.
I think it would be a
Jordan
giant.
endorsement too.
I think it would be an awful look for his team just to be like, "Hey, I'm out of here, y'all. I'm not playing for y'all." Kyler would probably be like, "What?
Yeah, that would suck for the Cardinals.
What's going on?"
And they would know how
Kyler
the
would be
Colts feel
so
a little
hurt.
bit.
Yeah. So
Yeah, man.
speaking of the Colts and the football team are among the NFL's lowest in vaccine rates, like below 50%. So that's something to keep an eye on as Colts fans. If COVID does kind of start to outbreak in the season with the Colts, they actually what's funny is all last year they were among the team with the lowest COVID impacts at all. So they did really good last
Except
year.
for those fake results.
Yeah.
That 1 week
So
where they said we
did.
Yeah, then it was like insane.
We did it 2 days later.
It was within 2 hours, I believe. They were like, everybody has COVID on the team, and then 2 hours later, it's like, nope, never mind, we're good.
Yep. So we'll see. Just kind of to wrap up this discussion, I don't think it'll be a big deal. I don't think people should retire over the situation.
Don't retire.
I don't. If Cola does, I mean, whatever.
Get him out. I don't think DeAndre Hopkins will either.
I don't think D-Hop will.
It's just Twitter talk. He's probably a little hot today, and he got on his phone. The tweets were already deleted. I think they're deleted.
Well,
I couldn't
I'm wondering,
find
is there anything else on his Twitter?
I like Jalen Ramsey kind of came to his defense, and so did Leonard Floyd. Said something about not wanting to get the vaccine.
Yep.
It's a thing too. It's like big name players. It's not just like